Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Brendan here, aka Cliff Jumper, and we are working on our Toyota Sequoia Gen 1 again today. It has popped one of those notorious codes that pops up, the small evaporative recovery system leak. Where do we find this leak? Well, we found it before in a couple of places using a tool that required an air compressor. Today, I'm going to show you a different tool that does not require an air compressor, and you can do it at home without loud, expensive equipment. So follow along, I'll show you what we're going to do. Yes, indeed, I do have an air compressor to work with on my vehicles, but I realize the average person might not have that, especially if you live in an apartment complex or you just don't have room for this sort of tools. So today we're going to be using a smoke leak detector from Andeman. This is the JS108B. It has a built-in air compressor. So this is a very low pressure. It's like 1 PSI it's going to put out. If you look down at the little gauge there, see, it's not a high pressure system, which is exactly what you want for testing for leaks in a system like this. And a lot of modern cars have a place specifically for you to plug this system in. On our Sequoia, it's right here. It's this little green port located among the evaporative recovery, right by the purge valve. And what you need to do is take this. This is a valve stem core remover. There is a Schrader valve in here. By the way, this unthreads clockwise, so it's not your typical lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. It is a clockwise removal. We are going to remove this. This is the core. Set that aside so we don't lose it. And then this is going to get plugged right in to that port there. I'm just going to hold it. It will pressure fit, so I can just kind of do that, and it'll stay in place fairly well. There are a variety of different nozzles that come with the kit. This is meant for going into like the intake system, so if I wanted to, I could remove the main part of the intake tract from the air filter and plug this in, and that would allow me to flood the whole system. I might have to do that. It comes with a variety of different nozzles and plugs for plugging various things. That way I can make sure that if I have to unplug something and plug something else up to stop the flow of gas and air through there so I can look for leaks, this gives me a few different options. It does also come, the kit comes with a hook, so I can attach that right to the top here if I wanted to, and I could screw that in. I'm holding it awkwardly, but I can just screw that in, and that would allow me to hang the unit much in the same way that I hang this one. But I don't need to do that. I've got a spot to put it right here. So we're going to put on the power. Can hear the pump starting, which is good. And we are going to go ahead and start the flow of smoke. Now this does take smoke fluid. You put it in here. They recommend every time you use it, you want to add 10 to 20 milliliters just to make sure. It takes standard smoke detector fluid. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at most auto parts stores. So I'm going to flick that on, and then out of here we should see smoke start to arise. And usually it takes yeah, there we go. Okay. See that smoke? It's getting thicker the more it heats up. That is going to be what we look for as I plug it in to this port, and we're going to look to see where the smoke pops out in the system. So that is going to flood our entire intake tract system, and we're going to try to find where the smoke pops out. And there's a couple of spots on the Sequoia that are notorious. Oh, look. Yeah. So it's coming out the vent pipe, which means that our carbon canister back there is probably not doing what it needs to do. However, I have also learned that some of the purge valves that would stop flow in one direction only activate when the key is on or when the motor is running. So that is potentially a false positive. We are also going to look for smoke out here just to see if any other spots might be showing up. And I'm going to put the key on. I do have a computer that I can plug in to activate the purge valves, and that'll change the flow characteristics, and that could reveal smoke from somewhere else. So we'll go ahead and key on. All right, so it's still majorly just pouring out of the fuel cap here, coming out of the vents around that vent pipe. There's a purge valve down at the bottom there where the carbon canister is underneath the vehicle. And when that purge valve is not operating correct, it will well, it's supposed to do this to allow the vapors to come out, but only under specific running conditions. So I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to shut this off. You can see it was getting a little bit of smoke coming out right where the purge valve is there. And I'm going to go get my computer to plug into the car to activate the purge valves, and then we will retest and see if the smoke is still just pouring out back there. That means that the valve at the carbon canister has failed, which, you know, not the end of the world. I can get a new valve back there. We just replaced the carbon canister, which came with a valve attached to it. But just because a part is brand new doesn't mean it can't fail. So when they fail, that's the sort of thing that happens. But let's test it under operating conditions first. Okay, so using our Foxwell Toyota specific tool, we can get in here and turn on the tank pressure valve and the evaporative canister valve, or turn them off and on. It allows us to increase or reduce what they're doing. So I'm gonna see here, if I put that all the way to the lowest setting, we've got smoke. Now if I increase the setting, let's see, put that to setting D. No change, we still got a ton of smoke coming out. So that is interesting here. I'm going to go to the purge valve. And let's do that one. So let's turn it on. All right, purge valve is on. Does that make any difference? Let's see. Come up front, check for any smoke around here. I don't see anything. It still is all coming out back here. Turn it off. Doesn't appear to make any difference. So I'm thinking the purge valve back there is bad. We've got absolutely no difference here. Not seeing any reduction. So I'm pretty sure we've got a bad purge valve. Okay, well, I'm sure that the smoke is pretty obvious. So we do need to do a little bit more diving in. I'm going to have to pull my canister, the evaporative canister. Let's go ahead and turn off the smoke. I'm going to have to pull the evaporative canister and actually physically check the valve as I pull it out, and I'll test it and make sure that it is working. I mean, it's a simple, apply 12 volts to it, and if it clicks and does its thing, it's basically a two-position valve. It'll let stuff through or it won't. So if it doesn't work, then that's our issue. Unfortunately, that means I have to remove the rear spare tire. To get to that, that's a whole fiasco. I'm not doing that today. But hopefully this gives you a chance to see how useful the smoke leak detector is, because it showed us immediately where to look for an evaporative leak. And yeah, it's a lot of smoke coming out, so it is a substantial amount of air that is passing through that shouldn't. It should be not doing anything when the motor is off, and obviously that's not functioning, so something's going on back there. Up here is another purge valve. I know I replaced this with a factory purge valve last year or the year before, and it is doing its thing as far as I know, so that's probably not the issue. But anyway, thumbs up for the Andeman Smoke Leak Detector, the JS108B. This is a wonderful unit. It just connects to your battery here, so you don't have to even have your own power supply run out to it. You just need to get smoke fluid, add it to it, and you can test your system for leaks. And if you're getting an error code, an OBD2 code saying that you've got a small leak in your evaporative recovery system, or you're just, you know you've got a leak somewhere and you want to find it, this is an easy way to find it. So whether it's unplugging your air box and using that cone adapter to plug it in right here, flood the whole intake, you can find leaks around your intake manifold. You can use the port that is designed for this to flood it with smoke and find the smoke anywhere in the system. So a couple of great ways to do this. So I got some more work to do on this, and I will tune in later and let you know. But you know, it's a 20-year-old car. It's going to have 20-year-old car issues. We're at 220,000 miles, and she's going strong, driving great. But yeah, some old car issues. Anyway, let me know what project you're working on in the comments, what you might use the smoke leak detector for, and I will see you next time. God bless. Bye-bye.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.